In Movies and Money today, business at the box office is being overshadowed this week by the scandal involving big-time movie studio executive Harvey Weinstein. More on that in a moment. But first, here's a look at a horror film, Happy Death Day, debuting this weekend at the box office.
Look, I know this isn't going to make any sense, but I have already lived through this day. Twice.
Tree,
No, believe me, I know it sounds totally crazy.
Joining us now, our film critic, Erik Childress.
Hi, Angie. Well, October is a very busy month at the box office. Lots of films opening, but often that means the dollars can be stretched very thin. But it is the month of Halloween, and I expect Happy Death Day will come out in front this weekend. Now, this is yet another film taking advantage of the Groundhog Day scenario that we all know so well. We saw this with Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow a few years ago. Just this year, a film called Before I Fall did it. And this film may or may not have been inspired by a little scene film called Salvage that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival over a decade ago. Now, the premise here is very simple. A college girl is murdered and gets to relive the same day over and over again in the hopes of discovering who did it. This is another small-budgeted film from Blumhouse Productions, under $5 million reportedly, and I believe we'll see the film at minimum triple that this weekend, if not more. We've seen how horror has been selling. We talk about it frequently. We're just coming off the highest-grossing horror film in history with It, which has grossed over $600 million worldwide. Even if this film dies off a lot quicker than some of these others, we just saw we're going to have the Saw reboot from Lionsgate come out just in time for Halloween in a couple weeks. Happy Death Day should be in profit for Blumhouse and Universal very quickly.
Jackie Chan is back with the movie Foreigner. Erik, what do you think?
Yes, Jackie Chan is back. Not that he completely went away. He's been doing animated voice work and films abroad, but this is the first major American live-action release he's had since co-starring in the Karate Kid remake in 2010, which was a huge hit that summer. The film he released, though, just 5 months earlier, The Spy Next Door, which was more of a Jackie Chan vehicle, only grossed $24 million, which was on the downswing of a number of respectable, if not overwhelming, grosses outside of the Rush Hour series. Now, this film is not as playful as a lot of those. This is Jackie Chan as a father hell-bent on revenge for a terrorist incident involving his child. It will be interesting to see if audiences really want to see that version of Chan, despite how much butt he seems to kick. But I'm not expecting big numbers for this. But it has grossed over $68 million overseas so far, reportedly. So he certainly hasn't lost his draw over there. We'll see how he does here in the U.S.
Also on the weekend list, Professor Marston and the Wonder Women.
She's an Amazon princess that lives on an island of all women.
Paradise Island.
And a man crash lands on the island.
Yeah, Steve Trevor the Spy.
Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman is the story of the man who created the Wonder Woman comic. Obviously very timely given the success of the DC film this summer. Though do be warned, this film is definitely not for kids. There's a more interesting story here than what has been put on screen, as you get the sense the film is actually softening the edges a bit.
What are your thoughts about the new movie Marshall?
And then there is Marshall, Reginald Hudlin's film about activist Thurgood Marshall, who is played by Chadwick Boseman, who has already played Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and will be continuing his run in his own Black Panther movie come next February. Now, Open Road, we've talked about here many times. It's only releasing this on 800 screens, which will come nowhere close to breaking their 3-year plus trend of failing to open a movie to $10 million. There's not much left on their plate, and I think sometime sooner than later, we're going to discover that they are closing up shop.
So, Erik, you've been talking to some of your sources about the Weinstein scandal. What have you learned?
This is a very dark week for the producer who has been accused and even caught on tape of being a sexual predator going all the way back to the 1980s, even before he was one of Hollywood's most successful players from his days at Miramax to the current Weinstein Company. Further details are coming to life seemingly by the hour from actresses. Harvey Weinstein was fired from his own company on Sunday. Now, while members of the board have resigned too, others are frantically trying to save whatever is left of their reputation. Financially, the company has been on the downswing for some time now. Filmmakers have reported still being owed money from deals in the past, and I have sources that have said the company even still owes theaters money from playing their films. Now, the company is reportedly going to change its name this week, but I don't think anything saves them at this point, and it wouldn't surprise me if they began selling off some of the films that they still have on their schedule through next March. There's a much bigger and more important story than on just the business side, but I believe we're going to see a dissolving of not just this company soon enough, but also attitudes and complicity in not just Hollywood, but business everywhere.
Thank you, Erik. And Mr. Weinstein tells reporters he denies the allegations.